And out front now to discuss this is former communications director for Ted Cruz's presidential campaign in 2016, Alice Stewart, and former communications director for the DNC, Karen Finney. She also worked on President Clinton's transition. Ladies, lovely to see you. Alice, let's start with you. You're a Republican, but here we are, 3 weeks after the election. Trump is still refusing to outright accept he lost this election, focused on undermining it and overturning the results. And today, he had two more setbacks in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. As someone who supports President Trump, has supported him in the past, how damaging is this for the country? And what is your message to him?
The message would be to let's put this behind us and move on. We have an important election coming up in January in Georgia. Look, I think it's critical. We have free and fair elections in this country. To reinforce what Ben just said just a few moments ago, there are plenty of checks and balances up and down the election process. And the integrity of our elections in the country is the cornerstone of our democracy. We had free and fair elections when Donald Trump won 4 years ago. We had free and fair elections this year when he did not win. And I think any conversation to the contrary of that is really damaging to our democracy. And I think it's really important, if there is widespread voter fraud, if there is evidence of a rigged election, if there has been wrongful voting counting in this country, I would love to see the evidence. I would love to prove this case and overturn the elections. But I don't see any evidence. I don't see any way that this can overturn the election. The votes are in, they have been counted and tabulated, and the margins are just too big. And I think it's really important to move forward and work on the transition to the Biden administration. Just
really quickly, I'm going to get you in a second, Karen, but as someone who supports the president, he basically said he was going to do this. I mean, he said before the election, it's rigged if I lose. I mean, but are you surprised by how far he has taken it?
I am. And look, I had a concern, and I voiced concern on election night when he started talking about the rigged election. And we are this far out, and we still have not won any legal challenges in court. I'm not certain how many times we have to hear these claims have no merit before we realize there is no merit to these claims. And it's almost as though they are stitching a parachute after they've jumped out of a plane, and it's just not good for this country. And to be quite honest, like I said, I voted for this president. I wanted him to win. And if he looks in the windshield and sees a political future for him, he needs to put election 2020 in the rearview mirror and support these Georgia Senate candidates that are coming up and look ahead to 2022 and 24.
Okay, Karen, to you now. While President Trump continues to divide and undermine this election, President-elect Biden keeps talking about unity and coming together. I'm wondering, do you think that this dichotomy reflects how just divided this country is right now? And what can Biden do to actually bring his message to life?
I think actually it's great to be with you tonight. I'll start there and say, I think what this really reflects is that the Republican Party is reaping what they have sown. And that is, for 4 years, they have coddled the fragile ego of Donald Trump and let him play games with our democracy. And now we're in a situation where the stakes, he's continuing to raise the stakes. He's continuing to live in an alternate reality and not accept facts. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris overwhelmingly won the election. And they won it in large measure by talking about unity, by talking about how you bring this country together, because a majority of Americans are sick and tired of the divisiveness, of the divisive politics, of being pitted against one another. I mean, I think you saw that so clearly, and this is what Americans voted for, with a Thanksgiving message from Joe Biden that, as you say, Pamela, was about unity, was acknowledging it's not going to be easy, but hey, we're America and we do the tough things, we do the hard things, and we have got to come back together so that we can move forward. And then you had Donald Trump again whining and complaining with with no evidence and no facts, pushing these theories that are completely inaccurate and false. And so I think it's critically important to be talking about unity. It's critically important that we see Joe Biden continuing to lead in this moment with the competence to restore the confidence that the American people need to have, both in him and in our federal government at this critically important time for America.
All right, Karen Finney, Alice Stewart, thank you so much for your time and coming on the show. We appreciate it.